issues and the PRs that we have real quick. Make sure everything's on track. Let's see, share this. Everyone looks great today.
Mm-mm.
Bam. Okay. All right. So PRs. We just closed this one. The mono repo is working better now, and the most important, really, the most important thing I think people should know is that when you are running commands in the root directory, you can run everything from the root directory. So you can run npm run builds everything. You can run npm run starts everything. You can npm run dev, and if you want to have it do the auto refresh, then you need to do dev watch.
Nice.
And I haven't tested this one, but it should work. And then there's separate commands for the different components. That's kind of necessary now because we have lib and db, and we're going to have other workspaces. So thanks to Victor for that. We had a lot of teamwork on that one, and then this one, the turbo repo, we will come back to this, and I just want to investigate turbo repo a little bit more just to understand everything that's happening, because when we don't understand everything, then we end up with bugs that are we'll end up with the bugs either way. But I just want to understand it so that when we do have a bug, that I know exactly what's going on.
Okay.
The current system is very simple in that it just uses Node and workspaces, but the turbo repo may be faster and more elegant. And then, this one is also on the back burner for now. Issues. There's a bunch that Abdul is working on. These are all. It should probably specify here that these are all in GitHub, or maybe I can add
add a filter.
I can do this.
Label.
Would you
Git.
a project, right? Would you add it? You add it as a project, right?
I have no clue, to be honest.
I mean, it's all just it's all just arbitrary, but yeah, I think we could maybe add projects in here, possibly, and this is a very small thing that Burhan was working on, but I think there's definitely some restructuring that I still want to do. Personally, moving GitHub, moving the GitHub wrapper to the lib workspace. I want to refactor web/lib/utils, and then I want to refactor the templates, the template specific code.
All right. So I noticed that we have the templates right now in the main repository. Are you cloning from there to create a new repo at this time, or is just there?
Yeah. So the templates, this directory is only needed once when you deploy the templates. Right now,
Okay.
so you run. There's a deploy command, and it should even be in here. Build, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to do is inside each template, I want to also add some metadata about the template, because right now, or even it's like Streamlit, isn't it? Right now, there's like a lot of stuff like here, for example, metadata from the templates,
True.
here, which is like all distributed, and like here, and I would like to put that into the template. itself. So that way, someone can make a template without knowing how anything works.
Yeah.
So I will be putting all templates in monorepo. Yeah, and I like it like this right now because everything with the monorepo, like I like the flat just because everything is easy to find for new people.
Sure.
Personally,
Awesome.
there's um, there's a number of issues that we can come back to. They're all relatively small. The issues we have right now, except for like they're all just improvements of things, except for the AI chat, which is the only place where I think we're really adding new features mainly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think that's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I thought would be really interesting is to go over like some of the research that I've been doing in over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a ton of time over the past couple of days researching the open source AI code space, um,
Mm-hmm.
and wow, like I realize this is so valuable to do, um, and I'm definitely going to be doing this more because there's just like so much um, going on. Let me share this. Let me share this document uh, with you guys, and I just want to summarize what I found. And I don't know how this is going to be useful yet, but I think this is going to be really useful. So the first thing that I think is really interesting is a lot of these tools they're using Open Router because yeah, it's just like it's very reliable LLM provider, and you don't need to worry about reliability. You can just access open source, closed source models with single API key. And some of them even provide like credits for Open Router, but the main thing is it's also like they don't there's not a the prices are also very very normal. So if you look at Open Router, you can actually see like the apps that are being used the most. So by model, so Klein is the top on Opus 4, but if you go to like 3.7, I think it's either root code or kilo code, but these three are like killing it right now. And then Ader's there still. Um, so these three are really interesting, and these are of course all these three are of course all VS Code extensions. This one is a CLI tool. Last time we talked, I thought that the CLI tools were going to be really interesting for us to integrate. Um, my feeling now, after really researching them, is that they are interesting, but there's two things about them. They're moving really fast, like they're changing very fast. Um, like Claude Code was, Claude Code is kind of the best, but people are trying to make open source ones like Open Code, which is Open Code is also really good. But then Gemini CLI just came out, Tray Agent just came out, so it's still moving very fast. I don't think it's super mature. And then the second thing is that these tools they can be like really slow, um, and so that might not be actually the experience that people that could actually be like a downside of integrating them into the editor. Um, unless you have like a way to do like them running many in parallel. So I'm actually now really actually more interested in looking at some of these um, that are open source VS Code extensions. So that's not compatible with, of course, directly compatible with what we have, but they're written in TypeScript, and the way that they interface with VS Code through the diff view is a lot more similar to what we have than the way that the CLI handles diffs. So these might actually be more interesting for us to look
Okay.
at. And if you go to kilocode.ai, there's this
Mm-hmm.
really great chart here, and this chart shows you like a lot of the features that that people are considering.
Oh
So they all
wow.
have MCP marketplace. um, Autocomplete is a big one, but then there's like just other things like can you write your own system prompts? Like can you choose which models get used for which purposes? These kind of things. So yeah, this is just all just like really interesting stuff to have as like background research. And yeah, I mean Zed's written in Rust, so very different than what we're doing, but it's still interesting um, to see how it's working. And then there's a few like in line with what we're doing. These are web based platforms here. The most the coolest one is probably Obby. Like Obby is like exactly like V0, um, but this is completely open source. So I've missed this one, and I've missed a few others in the past. Um, and yeah, it's just worth checking out, like all of the exciting stuff that's happening. Here's a similar one that's built on Daytona instead of E2B. Um, all of the like exciting developments that are happening, because I think like um, there's a lot of potential intersection with what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Did you come across the? It's like it's not a CLI tool. It's more of an SDK. The Vercel's AI SDK. Because I was reading about it the other day.
Yeah, I think it's
If
one of
we
the best out
Yeah,
there.
if we plan on like if we think about integrating something inside the sandbox AI chat, it could stream responses a lot more easier. So we could also have a look at that. And it's open source.
Oh really?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. That's the first time I'm hearing about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually open source. Crazy.
The
And
Vercel,
it works extremely well with Next.js.
Oh, it's like it's native Next.js support, but you could replicate backend roots to use that.
yeah. So the Vercel, um, maybe so you know what it really does, right? The Vercel SDK, right? Like
I don't have much info on this, but I did look into it the other
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah. I've used it,
Yeah.
or and a lot of these tools that we're looking at here, they also use it. Um, so basically, what it is it's actually quite restricted, or it's quite it does a very specific thing. It's quite specific in what it actually does. The Vercel AI SDK basically allows you to make Next.js basically chatbots with streaming, and using a variety of providers. So it's if for example you're making a chatbot that's just using OpenAI or Anthropic, and then
Okay.
you use the Vercel AI SDK, um, it will be exactly the same amount of effort as if you wrote it yourself using the OpenAI SDK, because you're just using one LLM. If you wanted to use OpenAI and another OpenAI compatible LLM, it's also going to be the same, because those are all the same SDK. I think the real place where where Vercel AI SDK comes in handy is like when you want to support streaming chatbot with Anthropic and um, ChatGPT and OpenAI.
OpenAI.
Yeah.
But it's not like that's all that it does. It
Cool.
just streams chatbot responses in Next.js. It's not like Yeah, it's not like a game changer. IMO.
Right. I mean, I did see that the one thing is like it does have tool calling. It does have tools that you could uh, make use of, and the fact that you could use multiple LLM providers with just one setup is also like for now we're basically directly sending the request to Anthropic, right? So uh, what this gives you is like you could use multiple models if you want. It gives the user more choices to make. That's what we did with the sandboxes, right? What we're supposed to. That's something I was thinking.
Yeah. So as I said, like if everything is OpenAI compatible, which Anthropic is not, then you don't need it. But if you want to do Anthropic and OpenAI compatible APIs, then yeah, it provides you that abstraction. Um, I I'm looking at it now. Yeah, it looks like Akhilesh would have used the Anthropic SDK. But yeah, I didn't like I never checked.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have been surprised if he did use the Vercel. Um,
SDK.
overall, yeah, SDK. Overall, um, it's not a major design decision. Like you could change it in a few hours if you really wanted to.
True.
But it's yeah, it's worth noting that it's there. It doesn't. It's not a game changer, like I said. Um,
Yeah.
it's just going to allow us to support another provider. Some people prefer not to use it.
Cool.
I don't know why Akhilesh didn't use it. Actually, it would be interesting to ask him
Yeah, true.
because most people do just use that by default. Yeah, in Next.js. Yeah, but
Nice.
if you look through the source code of some of these tools that I shared, you'll see it and you'll see how it's used. Another one that you could look at is I think the E2B Next.js examples. They mostly use the Vercel AI SDK. Yeah. But yeah, back to the topic of what we're building.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any thoughts on like what you would do next, or you want to take some time to look at to look through some of this stuff uh, to see where we are, where the other tools are as well.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, it would be like we could have a look at the document that you just shared. I'm looking at it right now. I do have idea about uh the CLI tools,
Yeah,
but yeah, they're pretty slow and
yeah, that's my biggest concern
yeah.
because it's like when you're working in an IDE, like, do you really need to integrate something if you only need to interact with it like once every minute or two or like 5 minutes? Like, what's
Mm-hmm.
the point of integrating it into the IDE? The IDE is like when you're supposed to be working fast.
True.
So I understand now why it's a different class of tools. Like, I personally don't like it. Like, I personally don't like waiting for the agents. The first thing I made was one of these long running agents, and I just got so bored of it that I moved on to making like the IDE thing.
Nice.
Like, yeah, but But so the people that like Claude Code, what they say about it, what they like about it, is that actually they have a bunch of keystrokes that allows it to feel more interactive. Um, you can stop it, change task as you're watching it, create new agents. So it's much more interactive. The Gemini one is literally like you're just watching it work in a loop over and over. Like you're just watching it get like lost in code itself in circles.
Yeah, true.
Open code seems cool. I want to try that, but I I think
Did you test it?
no, I haven't tested it, but I think if you really look at like what's working for people, I think right now it's the VS Code extensions. I think so.
Hmm.
Yeah, true.
Because what was that? Yeah, they're seeing through just through Open Router, these extensions are getting 10 billion tokens in a week or something. So it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I've used Client and Rucode because I've seen my friends use it.
Yeah.
S Yeah,
And what have you seen? What do you
I
think?
mean, I do have a friend. His name is Hasib.
Yeah.
If he's watching this, so he always
What's up,
bumps.
Steve?
He,
Shout out.
he always yeah he always mentions Rucode every time someone mentions cursor or shit. So
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh my god, bro, you have to try Rucode." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, yeah,
Like that's the first time I actually heard about rule code. Like a rule code.
Yeah. So Rue Code, formerly called Rue Klein, is a fork of Klein, I believe.
And then Kilo Code is like fork of Rucode and Klein.
Yeah. So it's a double fork.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, interesting.
It's a hybrid.
Uh
Um,
huh.
so really interesting with Klein. Klein has created an ecosystem, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if Klein forked them back?
Klein 2.0.
Uh,
It'd be cool.
yeah. So that's the thing I'm definitely going to dig into the most. Looking at is the Kilo code and the Rue code code bases because it's all TypeScript. They also use a diff view. Technically, it's also Monaco. So who knows? Maybe there's something that
Yeah,
and
that we can get from them.
yeah, and when I looked at the code base for Gemini, um, which doesn't work very well, um, it was actually super organized, the code base.
Hmm.
So it actually would be not that difficult to like they also have sort of structure like we do where they separate out the front end from the core package. So so yeah, a lot of these open source ones are actually quite organized. Um,
Nice.
yeah. All right. So yeah, let's look at that and let's just come back to it later. Um, for now, um, yeah, and let's do that in a few days. And yeah, for now we can just keep working on a few tasks. Do people feel like yeah? For now, if there's small things that you want to do, that's also uh, that's also fine. There's plenty of like really small things, but yeah, let's come back to this because the AI chat is going to become the core feature, um,
Yeah,
especially agentic building, and we need to make like a really solid plan to
true.
attack that. Maybe maybe we decide that putting in the AI SDK is like one of the first things to do. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe we decide that people want to be able to use their own API keys. But this is something that I think we should kind of come to the meeting and just with a bunch of ideas prepared, and then let's do that with a bunch of ideas prepared, and then we'll like prioritize them for the AI
Like,
chat specifically. Yeah.
okay, perfect.
All right.
So we could also work on the funding applications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not too much to be done there, really. It's really like a couple hours of work,
Mm-hmm.
I think. But yeah, small stuff,
Okay.
but useful.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thanks. Thanks, Asif.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, and, I will be merging the stuff from Abdul as soon as possible. As soon as he sends it over, he's basically fixing a number of bugs. Actually, I already merged one, but he's fixing a bunch of small bugs in the GitHub integration. So it's gonna be like really
Awesome.
rock solid.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
And yeah, Victor, if you're looking for stuff to do, I'll happily send you like some issues.
Yeah,
Great.
put that my way.
All right. Great.
All
Cool.
Talk
right.
soon. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.